Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday, the 26th of May. With McShane, we're working our way through the book of Numbers, and today Numbers 35, which looks at justice and how justice is done. And it talks about if somebody murders someone, the avenger of blood, a family member or relative, will seek vengeance. But then in verse 22, the law is, but if without enmity someone suddenly pushes another or throws something at them unintentionally, or without seeing them drops on them a stone heavy enough to kill them and they die, then since that other person was not an enemy and no harm was intended, the assembly must judge between the accused and the avenger of blood according to these regulations. The assembly must protect the one accused of murder from the avenger of blood. And as I read that, I thought, wonderful basic jurisprudence. You need evidence. You need to protect people that are accused. You need to hear the story. You need to decide. And a little bit later, it says, anyone who kills a person is to be put to death as a murderer only on the testimony of witnesses. But no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. And so the basic rules of justice are established there, that there need to be witnesses, and you need to, not just one person, because that's too easily swayed. You can't interrogate properly if there's only one witness. And as I read that, I thought it's an encouragement to us in the modern world to ensure that our justice systems are fair and equitable, and that justice is done and justice is seen to be done. But I think there are not going to be that many of us that are going to be involved with cases of murder and vengeance and things like that, thankfully. But each one of us deals with people who do cause offense, and people say things, and we're very quick to let our own personal avenger of blood, I want to get even, I want to take my revenge on that person. They said this, I need to say something back, I need to level the playing fields, and all those kind of things, which are perfectly natural. That's part of how we react. But at the same time, we need to recognize there needs to also be a city of refuge in some regard, where we hear what the person says, we want to react, but then we look at the justice and we listen and we say, was it intentional? What was the person's wanting to do when they did that? Did they actually mean to cause offense? They said that, but what was their intention in saying that? Am I misinterpreting what they said? Was what they said just badly phrased, that they didn't really think of the implications of what they said? Or were they actually out to cause trouble? And we need to react to people not just on the surface, but on the intentions and what lies underneath it, which is what the law here is trying to establish. So to all those involved in law, be encouraged that you've got scripture on your side. For the rest of us, let's make sure that we live rightly, that our lives in all spheres are marked by justice and rightness. And no one can point fingers at us and say we're short-tempered, we jumped the gun, we were unfair, all of those kind of things. We need to let this shape how we deal with conflicts we find ourselves in, not necessarily just big legal cases on murder. Be blessed.